Ladies and gentlemen, I do not want to be just a real estate agent anymore. I have decided that's not for me. I was not meant to be just a real estate agent, and I'm going to do something about it. And I'm asking you if you want to be a part of that journey. So, taking a quick step back, my name is Dominique Higgins. I have been a real estate agent for the past 10 years. The reason why I initially got into real estate is because it has honestly been a comfort zone for me. My mom, growing up, did everything you can imagine with real estate. She was a real estate broker. She did construction. She would do like development projects that like me and my cousins would literally do demo work for her. She has done underwriting. She has done like loans. She's done it all. And so I very much came to a point in my life, I had just graduated from school, and I had an option between working in finance in New York City or coming back home and joining the brokerage. And for me, you could almost say it was this inkling of like, I knew I loved real estate. There was no doubt about that. Like, I loved real estate, always have since I was a kid. And I knew that real estate made a little bit more sense in order to do it out of college than the vice versa, finance or whatever. And so I came back home, joined my mom's brokerage, and became a real estate agent. And I don't think that I was very much prepared for how fucking tough it is to be a real estate agent, and that it is literally like, starting out was a grind. It was the biggest, it felt like a grind that lasted 5 years. It was like 5 years of like not knowing anything, grinding it out, trying everything, throwing spaghetti on the wall every which way and seeing what stuck, seeing what didn't, understand the different nuances. And it was, I will say it was the best learning experience ever. Like, I literally am truly honored and blessed for everything that I've learned, all the clients I've worked with, all the deals that I've worked on, so on and so forth. But I will say that, like, I never, again, being a real estate agent wasn't like the end goal for me. And I don't think I really got a clear picture of like, okay, what is the end goal then? And why did you use real estate as a stepping stone until last year, when like, I honestly, it hurt to wake up each day and only have real estate to look forward to. I don't know, I can't, if that's like the best way I can explain it, but it's like knowing that there were people out there saying, oh yeah, if you absolutely, you know, you found your life purpose when like you're excited when you get up and it's, you're eager to like start the day and everything. I did not have that last year being just a real estate agent. And so that really forced me to think about like, okay, like what is this kind of like hole thing in this feeling, like this feeling cannot last forever, because I hated it. And so this is where I very much worked with, I have a business coach who's amazing. And we like sat down and we really talked about like, okay, what is this thing that wants to come out? What is this thing that you enjoy? What is this value that you want to see within your life? And it was like this, and this process, by the way, took place over months. It wasn't like one day I just sat down with her and then it was like, oh, epiphany. But it was like months of coming to this realization that I honestly want to be like a developer. Like, deep down, the part of real estate that I've loved the most has been the development. Like, it hasn't been the paperwork. It's been my ability to like see projects come alive, whether they were like my mom's projects, whether they were her clients' projects, like seeing them go from like plans to an actual building, and like seeing the people who have built it has always been the most fascinating part. And also too, I was the kid, and it's crazy because like I think about it now and I'm like, duh, the writing was on the wall, but I didn't even realize it. But as a kid, literally, I loved building stuff. I did building bridges for Science Olympiad. I freaking used to build random furniture and stuff. Like, that was just a part of who I was. And then somewhere along the lines, I was like, okay, a real estate agent to become a real estate developer. Yes, that makes sense. But I got stuck. In that real estate agent label without making a plan for the real estate developer label. And so somewhere, again, last year, as I was coming to this clarity and this moment of realizations with my business coach, I finally decided, okay, it's time to like figure out how to choose that new seat, as my business coach would say. And so but it was, let me be honest, it was so scary. I cannot describe the feeling, but it's like, it sounds so simple of like, oh, like I'm not even switching careers. I'm transitioning into another version of my career. But it literally felt like walking on like a 5-story building with no harness and nothing to support you. Like it literally would bring me to tears. But I had to start slowly of like, what does that look like? Like, what does it look like to be a real estate agent now, but become a real estate developer in the future? And so I started small with, okay, let me at least get an understanding of construction. While I had been always around construction growing up, I didn't really know, I wasn't like fluent in the language of construction. And so I'm just gonna take you through what got me to this point on this day, and then I'm gonna introduce you what's gonna happen in the future and take you along the ride. So somewhere around April of last year, I was like, okay, let me get more familiar with construction terms. What is the best way to do that? And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start just like reading plans. So I started every single set of house plans, commercial plans, restaurant plans that I could get a hold of. I would grab them and I would just read them and I would just try to understand them as much as possible. And then it got to this next level of like, oh, wait a minute. Like, I wonder if I could actually design these plans. And so then I was like looking around and I heard about the LA City pre-approved ADU program. And then I was looking at the LA City code and they have this thing where you can actually design your own plans. So you could do this too, so long as you use like their type V sheet. And so I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to teach myself AutoCAD. These are the conversations with myself. I'm going to teach myself AutoCAD. I'm going to design these plans. And if I can get these pre-approved by the city of LA, maybe that'll be my test to myself that like, okay, are you actually knowing and taking in what is being taught to yourself? And so that's what I set out and did. I did this free online AutoCAD course, which I'm gonna link down below because it's freaking amazing. I did that and literally I spent the next 4 or 5 months. Creating an ADU plan using AutoCAD in hopes of submitting it to the city of Los Angeles for it to be pre-approved. I remember I finished the plan up, I submitted it to the city, and then I was like, I need a break. I went on vacation, and then while on vacation, I literally got the message back. It was like, hey, your plan, we've reviewed it, here are first round of corrections. And I was like, holy crap, that was actually way sooner than I thought it would be, but let's go for it. So I get back from vacation, I fill out the corrections, and I'm thinking like, okay, I've sent the corrections out. And you hear stories, you know, you're like, oh, it'll take like months or whatever. So I was thinking, okay, I'll send these corrections back. I won't hear from them for 2 months. It'll be fine. And then when I tell you, it couldn't have been a couple weeks, but a couple weeks later, the city sends me back and they're like, congratulations, your plan has been pre-approved. Send us all this information about the plan and where people can purchase it and all this different stuff so that we can get it posted on our website. And it was like the best moment ever. It was like, I had set out for that to be a test of like, have you learned the things that you need to learn and you set out to learn? But really it became validation that like, this is 1,000% what I need to be doing and in the right direction. And so I like, yeah, that just started, that was like the match for things to like move faster and for the balls to get rolling faster. And so when that got pre-approved, then the next thing that came to my mind was like, holy shit, like maybe I can design more plans. And so I started designing more plans and I started posting like ridiculously, and I do mean this, ridiculously cheap ADU plans, because I didn't care. I honestly did not care. I pretty much did 2 ADU plans for like $800 because I did not care. I wanted the experience and I wanted to get the reps in so that I could keep learning and building this muscle of like, residential design, construction, and just knowing the terms and knowing the lingo, so on and so forth. And when I got the first one for somebody else, not the one that I had designed through the LA City, but for somebody else's, like an actual client, whew, that was when I knew. That was when I knew I'm like, okay, like this real estate development thing, this is how we're gonna do it. And so at the beginning of the year, this is January 2024, I came up with, I'm like sitting in the parking lot of a grocery store. So if my eyes are darting around, it's because I'm trying to like keep an awareness of my surroundings. So beginning of this year, 2024, I came up with like a concrete plan. And so I was like, okay, obviously I'm still a real estate agent. That's who I am right now. We're gonna keep that boat going. It's going pretty good. Next to that though, I was like, we're gonna keep this ball rolling on ADU plans. And we're gonna keep inching it up even to see if and when we can start doing residential and multifamily plans. Because in the back of my head, I'm like, this is a badass skill that could really help me in the end when I become a developer. To like just have that familiarity of like what I'm being given when I do go ahead and work with other designers, architects, so on and so forth. And then, so that's the second layer. And then the third layer that I started like thinking in my head was like, okay, well, I need to not only know like what this stuff means on paper, but how it's actually built. Because let's face it, construction and working with contractors, like not all of them are the best. You got to know your way around a construction site so that you don't get gypped. And so I was like, okay, I need some type of construction training. And so I legit decided to sign up for construction classes, which I started in February. And I started them in February and they end in June. And so my plan is be a real estate agent, keep doing that. Keep designing plans, build expertise in that. Learn construction so that on the ground, I know how contractors do what they do and know enough to be dangerous, essentially. So that I can eventually, and this is my goal for this year, is to buy my first house through the FHA one-time close program. That is a program I've talked in other videos on this channel, but that's essentially you can use 3.5% down to buy land and build a house on it, a house and ADU actually, now that the rules have changed. And so that's how I want to get started as a developer, is using my own personal home, because there is no construction loan out there that will let you put that little amount down. That's kind of been my plan. And why am I telling you this? Because I know that one of you out there, maybe not all of you, but one of you wants to become a real estate developer. Just know you have that in common with me. This is really something that I really want to do. And hopefully by saying what I do, I can make the mistakes for you so you don't have to. But I'm really excited. I'm excited to take you on this journey. I'm excited to document the journey because I've never done this before. And yeah, I guess I can tell you how it's been going so far. So I've been in classes for officially 1 month. They started in February. It's now March 12th. It's freaking hard. It is hard. I feel like I've literally had to start waking up at 5:30 in the morning just to like get the real estate agent and the ADU design stuff done so that I have time for classes. Cause right now I found a great program, by the way, too. It is I will link it down below, and I'll link it once I'm not there anymore, cause I don't want any stalkers, let's be honest. But it's a great program. It teaches you so with these classes, okay, I'm so excited. I love these classes. So I'm taking 4 classes in total. One is related to concrete and foundation work. The second one is related into framing. And then the third one is related to roofing. And then the fourth one is interior remodeling. So essentially I'll have that working knowledge of like construction of a home from foundation to finishes by June, which is honestly insane. And so far I've been able to like build a wall. Like I've built 2 walls by myself within the last 2 weeks, which is so cool. I've done like 2 concrete pads. I've done, what else? I've put a roof on, like a shed roof on a structure. And this is just the beginning. So I'm like really excited. I'm so glad that I like went for these construction classes, because now I can really see the light at like the end of the tunnel of how all of this stuff combined is going to help me to achieve my goals. So like with the real estate agent experience, with the background in design, and with the growing proficiency in construction development. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below. Until the next one. Thanks, guys.